Plus degree day, a cake with fire.
These are cheesecake Oreos.
The Today Show is next.
Yes, we'll say goodbye to Meredith. That's what's happening today in New York. Thank you guys.
Happy birthday!
Good morning. Feeling the heat, two-thirds of the country dealing with the hottest weather of the year. Record temperatures likely today from New York to Kansas City. While out west, the race is on to save several towns threatened by that massive wildfire raging in Arizona. Will he step down? Calls for Anthony Weiner's immediate resignation intensify on Capitol Hill as startling new details emerge about his secret life online. And 5 fantastic years, she's delivered the news, brought us stories that touched us and made us laugh. Sometimes at her, sometimes at ourselves.
Can I just share one funny story with you?
No, sorry. What a ride it's been. Join us for a fond farewell to Meredith today, Wednesday, June 8th, 2011.
From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Deep breath, count to 10, and welcome to Today on a very bittersweet Wednesday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
And I'm Meredith Vieira, and it looks like I'm leaving based on that open.
I lost the bet. I said you were going to call in sick today.
Oh, it's tough. It's a hard one.
Yeah, mixed emotions?
Very mixed emotions. I'm looking at everybody right here and wishing I know it's right, but it's hard.
Well, it's hard
Especially
for
this guy
everybody.
right here.
We're going to pay tribute to Meredith throughout the morning, and we have a number of surprises as well. You won't want to miss it. We've got a lot of other news to cover, though, as well. Talk about this brutal heat.
Yeah.
It's right expected in most of the country today, from the Midwest all the way up into New England. Al's going to have details on that coming up straight ahead.
Also, stunning developments at the Casey Anthony murder trial. An expert testifying for the prosecution raised serious doubts about what could be a vital piece of evidence. The latest from court, and that's coming up as well.
Also, a segment we always have fun with. We'll take a look at the best commercials from the past year.
But we're going to begin with that extreme heat gripping a big section of the country. Al Roker is upstairs with details. Al, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Meredith. And I'll tell you, it is just brutal, this heat. Look at these records. 97 in Milwaukee, 103 in Minneapolis. They haven't been this hot since 1988. Sioux City, 99, 96 in St. Louis. And today, not much better. We're looking at temperatures that will be well over 90 degrees. Washington, D.C. getting up to 98, 94 in Albany. Montpelier, Vermont, 93. Chicago, 95. Factor in the heat, the humidity, and it's going to be over 100 everywhere else. And Thursday, it moves to the east. Philadelphia, 100 degrees. We've got heat advisories, excessive heat warnings from the Carolinas all the way to New England, 95 in Boston. But there is some good news in sight. High pressure right now. This is what's been really firing this up. Big upper level high, a deep trough out west where it's been cooler. But as we move on into the weekend, things get better. Sunday, a developing trough in the northeast. This high shrinks down. That will break the back of the heat, and we will see more normal conditions as we get into the weekend. Matt?
All right, Al, thank you very much. We'll get your forecast in just a couple of minutes. But we move down now to Arizona, where firefighters are desperate to control what's now become the second largest wildfire in that state's history. NBC's George Lewis is in Springerville, Arizona, with the latest on that. Hi, George. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Behind me is one of the huge sky crane helicopters used to drop water on the fire. Overnight on the ground, crews worked to create a barrier to protect the town of Eager, Arizona. The southern half of Eager now under an evacuation order.
As the fire continued to spread, driven by high winds, people in its path headed to safe ground. The south half of the town of Eager, Arizona, the latest place to come under an evacuation order.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
The Carrillos are lifelong residents of Eager.
Oh,
yep. We just built this house 2 years ago.
we just had the house built.
They quickly rounded up their children, their dogs and cats, and left. Others were wrangling larger animals. David Boyd, a rodeo clown, uses these bulls in his performance. He and his wife were headed north to a friend's place.
We got friends over in St. John's. We're going to take the bulls over there and try to stay safe.
All the while praying that somehow their property will be spared. Overhead, the huge pall of smoke almost blotted out the sun. Bad air advisories are up in neighboring New Mexico and Colorado. Meanwhile, firefighters are busy setting backfires to try to protect homes and businesses in Eager. Norman Honey was shutting down the Bar 26 ranch owned by the Hopi tribe. This place, at one time the property of the late actor John Wayne, is considered a local historical landmark.
This is the John Wayne room. This is where John Wayne slept.
Now the firefighters are trying to protect John Wayne's old place and the rest of the town as the fire continues to roar ever closer.
The head of the U.S. Forest Service has issued a warning for several difficult days of firefighting ahead. This as the forecast calls for more high winds today in Arizona. Matt?
All right, George Lewis reporting for us this morning. George, thank you very much. It's now 5 after the hour. Here's Meredith.
Matt, thank you. Anthony Weiner is feeling growing pressure from Republicans to resign in the wake of his sexting scandal. This as fellow Democrats distance themselves from the New York congressman. NBC's Luke Russert has been following this story since it first broke. Luke, good morning.
Good morning, Meredith. After holding a press conference on Monday where he admitted he sent a lewd photograph over Twitter, Congressman Anthony Weiner just could not catch a break.
I have engaged in several inappropriate conversations.
It's not getting any easier for Anthony Weiner. Republicans say he should step down.
I don't condone his activity. I think he should resign.
Democrats aren't helping him either.
I know Congressman Weiner. I wish there was some way I can defend him, but I can't.
Even fellow New Yorker Donald Trump took a shot.
Anthony Weiner is a bad guy. He's a psycho.
My name is Ginger Lee, and I'm 23, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
And on Tuesday, TMZ.com reported Weiner traded scores of sexual emails over a long period of time with this woman, a former adult film star who spoke about her computer habits in this 2006 interview.
I'm one of those people that I'm like, has anybody messaged me? Let me see if anybody's messaged me. Somebody might have messaged me. And half the time if they don't, I'm like, crap, I'm a dork.
According to TMZ, when the scandal first broke last week, Weiner offered to coach Lee on how to handle the media.
She is complaining to him over email about how the media is bombarding her, calling, going by her house, cameras are showing up, calling her family members, stuff like that. She is upset about it and asking him, and he basically says, look, do you need PR advice? And he says, I can have someone from my team call you.
When asked to comment, Weiner's office sent this response to NBC News, quote, he is fully cooperating with the House ethics inquiry, and that will be the appropriate place for any further questions to be addressed. Legal experts say Weiner could be in trouble for violating House rules.
If House resources were used in this kind of sexual contact, he could face concerns or problems under the Code of Conduct of the House, which directs members to behave in a manner which shall reflect creditably on the House.
But a New York One Marist poll conducted Monday night after Weiner revealed that he had inappropriate contact over the phone and internet with 6 women shows 51% of New Yorkers think he should keep his job, while only 30% believe he should resign.
I don't see anything that really affects his job performance in any way.
I don't want. Does it offend you as a voter? It offends me a little bit. He does a good job. Let him do his job.
And Meredith Weiner's wife, Huma Abadan, who said she will be by his side throughout this whole ordeal, well, she literally won't be, as she left this morning with her boss, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, on a 7-day diplomatic trip to the Middle East and Africa. And Meredith, as a point of personal privilege, Godspeed. I will miss you personally.
Oh, Luke, thank you so much. Luke Russert reporting for us this morning. Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus is calling on Congressman Weiner to resign. Mr. Chairman, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Meredith. And first off, all of God's blessings to you moving forward.
Thank you so much. At least you didn't call on me to resign. I did that by myself. Thank you, but thank you very much, Reince. But you were one of the first to call on the congressman to step down, saying we do not need an investigation to know he lied and acted inappropriately. We need a resignation. Nancy Pelosi has formally asked the Ethics Committee to look into this, so why not just let them do their job and then let the chips fall where they may?
Well, I think part of their job is, Meredith, that Nancy Pelosi needs to do her job and be a leader of her caucus and tell Anthony Weiner to really hit the bricks and go home. Here's the problem. I don't think we need to spend taxpayer dollars investigating whether or not Anthony Weiner's a creep or not. Nancy Pelosi Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's Obama's hand-picked leader of the Democratic Party, ought to sit down with him and tell him that he needs to leave. I mean, that's what the American people expect.
But my understanding is that they cannot force him to resign, and he has said he does not believe he has broken any rules. He has no intention of resigning. It's up to the people, his constituents, to decide whether he should leave or not. And if you look at that poll that came out, more than half of them feel that he should stay in office, at least for now. So shouldn't they be the ones to decide his fate?
No, I think that the leaders of the caucus, I think the leaders of the Democratic Party ought to talk to Anthony Weiner and tell him that he needs to go. Here's the problem. Like I said before, an ethics committee investigation on whether this guy was right or wrong, or you know, sending pictures of his private parts around the world is not fitting of a United States congressman. And I think that leaders of the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, should ask him to resign. Look, it seems like the only job that these guys are willing to fight for, willing to try to save, is Anthony Weiner's job. I mean, why are they defending this guy?
Well, if you look at some of the Democrats, it certainly appears that they have turned on him.
Well, I mean, turned on him by opening up a House ethics investigation. I mean, we know what happened. It's all over the internet. You reported on more information that came out last night. This is just going to be, here's what's going to happen. This is going to be a slow drip, drip, drip type story, and within a couple weeks, my guess is he's going to have to resign, because it's going to be such a distraction to the folks here, and especially I would say even the leaders of the Democratic Party, that he's going to have to resign. So they should do the right thing, and they should speak up and say, look, this guy should resign, he should leave. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got record unemployment. We've got an economy, Meredith, that's in the ditch. And we've got a president and leaders of the Democratic Party that would rather whistle past the graveyard
but Bryce,
here.
if you look at your own party fairly, there have been Republicans who've been involved in sex scandals who have not gone quietly into that night. People like Louisiana Senator David Vitter, tied to a prostitution ring several years ago. He still serves to this day. Nevada Senator John Ensign waited years to resign after admitting to an affair with a staffer. And then you have Senator Larry Craig, who served out his term after he was accused of soliciting an undercover police officer. They didn't go quickly, so why should Congressman Weiner?
Well, I don't think, first of all, I don't think two wrongs make a right, and I'm not defending those folks. I'm the chairman of the Republican National Committee now, not years ago, and I think that Nancy Pelosi should go. And, you know, it took Chris Lee about 30 seconds to resign a couple months ago, and I think Nancy Pelosi and Debbie Wasserman Schultz ought to do the right thing and ask this fellow to leave office and put someone else there that's more fitting to serve this country.
You know, Reince, Congressman Weiner has a pretty sharp tongue. He has certainly criticized Republicans, gone on the attack against Republicans on the other side of the aisle in the past. Is there any level of satisfaction among those in your party that he is finally getting his comeuppance?
No, I mean, certainly not from me, Meredith. I don't operate that way. I'm not. This has nothing to do with vindication or payback. This has to do with leadership in the Democratic Party that is silent on what I think is a very important leadership aspect from a leader like Nancy Pelosi, who said that she was going to drain the swamp. I mean, this was the promise she made to the American people, and she's been silent on Anthony Weiner's resignation. I think it's outrageous.
All right, Reince Priebus, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Meredith.
It is 7:13, and now here's Matt.
All right, Meredith, thanks to presidential politics now. The phrase, "it's the economy, stupid," was first coined during Bill Clinton's campaign nearly 20 years ago. Well, now it appears to be shaping up to be the big theme for the 2012 race for the White House as well. Chuck Todd is NBC's political director, and chief White House correspondent. Hi, Chuck. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. Well, look, the White House will say they don't need a poll to tell them that the sagging economy is taking a political toll on the president. But this latest slowdown, combined with the start of the Republican presidential race, is a stark reminder of just how lethal the issue is for the president's re-election chances.
President Obama may have thought hosting German Chancellor Angela Merkel for a state dinner would give him a temporary break from the gloomy economic news. But he had no such luck as he tried to calm nervous Americans with more upbeat talk.
Prior to this month, we had seen 3 months of very robust job growth in the private sector. And so we were very encouraged by that. This month, you still saw job growth in the private sector, but it had slowed down. We don't yet know whether this is a one-month episode or a longer trend.
This pessimistic one-month episode is reflected in a new Washington Post ABC poll showing nearly two-thirds of political independents disapproving of the president's handling of the economy. And the 2012 presidential candidates are teeing off as well. Tim Pawlenty unveiled his economic plan Tuesday in a speech in the president's hometown of Chicago.
How you enjoying your recovery summer? Now, that's what the president said we were having, but that was last year.
Pawlenty, trying to woo conservatives in the primary, wants to cut the corporate tax rate, increase American exports, and freeze federal spending to balance the budget. President Obama is getting lots of friendly advice as well on how to talk about the economy, including from old President Clinton aides who have been more critical.
I just never thought, what they were saying about the economy reflected people's pain.
And even from his own old advisors.
You still got to continue to make the case that we're putting in place policies that are moving the country in the right direction.
White House aides believe their toughest opponent is not any Republican, but the economy itself. At least that's how they explain away privately the result in the new Washington Post ABC poll showing Republican Mitt Romney leading the president.
Good to see you.
For Romney, it's one piece of good news he hopes can calm down some conservatives, like the Club for Growth, still skeptical of his credentials.
It's up to the voters to decide if they want somebody that's going to explain and defend their mistakes in the past, or someone that says, I've learned from those mistakes, and let's move on.
By the way, speaking of Republican presidential candidates, we've made a little bit of a deal about the fact that Newt Gingrich took nearly 2 weeks off the campaign trail to go on vacation after announcing. Well, today, he finally returns from his vacation with an appearance in New Hampshire, Matt.
All right, Chuck Todd at the White House for us this morning. Chuck, thank you very much.
Bye, Meredith.
Bye, Chuck. Now let's get a check on the other top stories of the morning from Ann Curry over at the news desk. Morning to you, Annie.
And I'm going to miss hearing you say that, Meredith. Thanks so much. In the news this morning, everybody, good morning once again. At least 10 explosions rocked Libya's capital city this morning as NATO presses on with punishing daylight airstrikes. On Tuesday, its most intense barrage destroyed much of leader Muammar Gaddafi's compound. A defiant Gaddafi gave a radio address in response, vowing never to surrender. Meantime, in Brussels, NATO ministers will lobby for more countries to participate in the Libyan operation. The E. coli outbreak in Europe may be growing less severe. Germany's health minister told an EU crisis meeting on the epidemic that the number of new infections is quickly falling, but that it's too early to give an all clear on the issue. A massive fire in Rhode Island overnight destroyed what was once the world's largest rubber mill. The vacant 19th century plant near the Massachusetts state line was on the National Register of Historic Places. It was just purchased last year by a company that planned to use it to generate green energy. Now to Wall Street and CNBC's Courtney Reagan, Reagan at the New York Stock Exchange. Courtney, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you. And OPEC officials are meeting in Vienna to discuss increasing global oil production to help rein in those high prices. It's fitting timing because Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke actually blaming higher gas prices for that continued strain on consumers' wallets. Meantime, investors hoping for a positive catalyst to help turn around the Dow's 5-day losing streak. Wall Street saw stocks erase all of Tuesday's gain going into the closing bell on Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke's comments on the sluggish economy. Ann?
All right, Courtney Reagan, thank you so much this morning. Another stunning comeback for the Dallas Mavericks, who tied up the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat last night at 2 games each. Dallas's Dirk Nowitzki scored 10 points in the final quarter, leading the Mavs to an 86-83 victory. And to top it all off, Nowitzki did it while battling a 101-degree fever. And the Olympics will be staying here on NBC until 2020. NBC beat out ESPN and Fox to continue its coverage of the Olympics through the next 4 games. The network has carried every Summer Olympics since 1988 and every Winter Olympics since 2002. A lot of us cheering around here about that. It is now 7:18. Let's now go back to Matt, Meredith, and Al.
I can't wait to see you in Sochi.
Yeah. Come back.
You know what? That's cruel.
That'll be fun. No, that'll be fun.
Really?
You should come back and join us.
Exactly.
Is that a...
I thought you loved the Olympics.
I love the Olympics.
We could do a 3-man luge.
No. I'll do the skeleton.
Mr. Roker.
Bad weather. Bad weather.
The heat continues, and we still have to deal with these wildfires out in Arizona. Now the second largest wildfire in Arizona history. The bad news is the winds are going to continue, very low humidity, and we may get sporadic lightning strikes, which may cause more fires. And then we move into the Midwest, the Missouri River, causing big problems. There are parts of along that river. We've had levee breaches, and it looks like the flooding is going to last for weeks, for some areas even right through the summer. And as we look on the Today map, we'll show you for today, we've got a risk of strong storms in New England, also back through the Rockies on into the central Great Lakes, some clouds, sunshine in Pacific Northwest, sunny skies in Los Angeles, 68 degrees and sunshine. The heat continues, the record-breaking heat, Ohio River Valley, all the way up into New England. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Al, thanks very much. The heat's on here. Heat advisory noon until late. 5 boroughs, all of New Jersey. Same thing happens again during the day tomorrow. We expect temperatures that are now only at 74 in the Park, 75 in Brooklyn, 75 in Newark, to be heading into the mid to upper 90s. Forecast high for today, 95. That would tie a record. 97 tomorrow. That would also tie the record for the date. Could be some showers and thunderstorms around late in the day tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening. Then upper 80s Friday. We cool it closer to 80 with a couple of showers both Saturday and Sunday.
Weather, Matt.
All right, Albert, thank you very much. Coming up, a critical piece of evidence called into question the Casey Anthony murder trial by one of the prosecution's own expert witnesses. We'll have details on that, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Tonight on the Great American Health Challenge, things heat up in the kitchen as our teams battle it out to see who's the best chef. Join us for an all-new episode tonight at 9:30 on New York Nonstop. Sponsored by Whole Foods Market.
On June 24th, the new cars are faster, ka-chow, bolder,
I'm ready to fly,
and hotter than ever.
How about that pistachio ice cream?
No, wasabi.
Oh, same old, same old. What's up with you?
Disney Pixar's Cars 2. In theaters and IMAX 3D.
Have you ever seen a glacier while sunbathing? Why not? Have you ever climbed a rock wall in the middle of the ocean? Or tried something really wild? Why not? It's all possible in the nation of why not. Royal Caribbean's floating nation, where you're free to do anything you want, which may be nothing at all. Royal Caribbean International. Cruises from New Jersey. Visit RoyalCaribbean.com today.
When it comes to refinancing your home, big banks can be indifferent to your needs. Other banks are too small. They may not have all the choices you want. At Valley, we're the perfect fit. Hi, I'm Jerry Lipkin, Chairman and President of Valley National Bank. We've helped thousands of homeowners refinance their home for just $499. No points, no hidden fees. But don't wait. Rates may be going up. Try Valley on for size today.
It rocked the park. It won the Tony. It toured America. And now the Public Theater's electrifying new production of Hair is coming back to Broadway for 10 weeks only. Come join the party and experience the exhilaration of Hair, Summer of Love.
You cannot think of New York City as one huge place. It's a lot of neighborhoods. Stories that we cover here in New York turn into national stories. What was a local story today is affecting everybody tomorrow.
That's our girl doing her thing alongside the world-famous Rockettes. We're celebrating Meredith's journey here on Today all morning long. Our special farewell is just ahead.
But first, your local news and weather. Run!
Congratulations, Meredith Vieira. I'm going to miss you. I composed a song for your triumphant farewell. Well, it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind. That's all I got. Okay, I didn't write that. But I love you. Ciao, Bella.
It sounds like you're firing me.
When they took away his job.
They said it's because I didn't go to college.
You're never too old to learn.
It's got power.
He took a chance.
This is my first day of college ever.
I love that.
It's never too late in life.
Do you need a ride?
To start living.
Would you like to kiss me?
Larry Crown.
I can see you.
Rated PG-13. In theaters July 1st.
Also get a free flight.
You know that comes with a private island.
Really?
No, it comes with a hat. You see, airline credit cards promise flights for 25,000 miles, but
there's never any seats for 25,000 miles.
Frustrating, isn't it? But that won't happen with the Capital One Venture Card. You can book any airline, anytime. Hey, I just said that. After all, isn't traveling hard enough?
To get the flight you want, sign up for a Venture Card at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet? It's okay. I've played a pilot before.
At Dairy Queen, we don't stop at good enough. We don't just give you a cake, we give you a Blizzard cake. DQ soft serve in your favorite Blizzard flavor. And we don't just blow bubbles. We blow bubbles with kittens inside them.
I'm Phil Mickelson, pro golfer. If you have painful, swollen joints, I've been in your shoes. One day I'm on top of the world. The next I'm saying,
I have this thing called psoriatic arthritis. I had some intense pain. It progressively got worse.
My rheumatologist told me about Enbrel. I'm surprised how quickly my symptoms have been managed.
Because Enbrel suppresses your immune system, it may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, and nervous system and blood disorders have occurred. Before starting Enbrel, your doctor should test you for tuberculosis and discuss whether you've been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Don't start Enbrel if you have an infection like the flu. Your doctor if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores, have had hepatitis B, have been treated for heart failure, or if while on Enbrel you experience persistent fever, bruising, bleeding, or paleness.
Get back to the things that matter most. Good job, girls. Ask your rheumatologist if Enbrel is right for you.
I saw it. No one believes me.
I believe you. I've got things happening around here that I can't explain.
We have to go back to find her. What the hell is that?
Where are we going?
Find our kids.
Oh my God! I think I know where it is.
Use the big guns.
I don't think that's gonna hurt him.
Super 8. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX Friday.
Live from Studio 7E in Rockefeller Center, this is Today in New York.
Good morning, everyone. 726, 74 degrees out, looking at the Brooklyn Bridge. It's going to be a hot day today. I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Well, cooling centers will be open in New York City for anyone looking to beat the heat. A heat advisory will be in effect in the 5 boroughs and New Jersey from noon to 8 p.m. both today and tomorrow. The thermometer could reach record levels on both days. Chris will have more on the forecast just ahead. We're going to check in on Megan now, see how that commute is holding up.
All right. Well, not too bad today, actually. There was just a hot spot on the LIE. You can still see the delay here on camera. Westbound by the Clearview Expressway, there was an accident, but they've cleared it. But from right to left there, you see it's still sluggish. I do want to remind you, today alternate side parking rules are suspended, but meter rules do apply. And that's the scoop.
Okay, Megan, thank you. We'll be right back with a look at Chris's forecast.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs. Casinos by the ocean. Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches, solid rock, and everything in between. Now that's New Jersey. Plan your New Jersey trip at visitnj.org. Waves of fun, nights of excitement, and a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
Chris is here with the forecast.
Now it's all about the heat advisory that's in effect today and again tomorrow. For obvious reasons, we're forecasting a high today of 95. That is the record high in Central Park for the date. We could get there. 77. That's it for a low tonight. No rain today. Tomorrow, late in the day and toward the evening hours, could be a couple of showers or thunderstorms. But before that, temperatures climb to a high of near 97, which would also tie a record. Upper 80s Friday, so it's a little better. Not a heck of a lot. Still a little muggy, too. And then it starts to feel a bit more comfortable as we get towards the weekend. Saturday, 81, 79 for Sunday. Both days may feature a couple of hit and miss showers, but most of the time over the weekend, it is not raining. So relief is on the way. It's about 2 days away, though.
All right, we'll get there. Chris, Megan, thank you. Coming up on the Today Show, a live report on the Casey Anthony trial after witnesses for the prosecution contradict each other on the stand. Stay tuned.
Another bad report card.
I hate school.
We grounded you, got tutors.
You think I want to fail?
I should have done this before.
Huntington Learning Center.
My son is struggling in school.
You made the right call.
We get to the heart of the problem and then construct a program that will build his skills, confidence, and motivation. He will really improve. You'll see.
Call Huntington Learning Center today at 1-800-CAN-LEARN. The sooner you call, the sooner your child can learn.
The #1 film in the world is the best reviewed movie of the summer. X-Men First Class is not just a terrific comic book movie, it's a terrific movie, period. X-Men First Class, certified fresh, rated PG-13.
It's Jennifer's $3.99 sofa bed sale. Choose from many great sofa beds. Just $3.99 with quick delivery. So why settle on just a sofa when you can have a Jennifer sofa bed? Just $3.99. Jennifer, America's largest sofa bed specialist.
All the stars are coming to Extra because we bring the show to you.
I like this better than being like in a studio.
Weeknights at 7 on NBC.
A very special announcement as we come to you live from 7:30 now on a Wednesday morning. It's the 8th of June, 2011. You're looking at just some of the fun moments we've shared with Meredith during her great five-year run here at Today. We will not let her forget a moment of it. Inside Studio 1A, I'm Matt Lauer alongside Meredith. And coming up, we're going to celebrate Meredith's final morning with a look back at some of her most memorable moments, and we've lined up a couple of surprises that we don't think will embarrass you.
Yeah,
we think you'll enjoy.
But every single thing you showed is me looking like an idiot. Did you notice that?
No, it's you being yourself and
exactly,
being, and
that's
being
the problem.
fun and enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
By the way, the noise there is not Meredith shaking her collar. That's Jasper here this morning. That's Meredith's dog making his final appearance on the Today Show as well.
And my husband Richard is here, making
Over
a very rare
in the
appearance
studio.
as well.
That's right. And that's not Richard.
No,
that's,
but Richard has the same
Jasper.
eyebrows.
It's nice to have both of them with us. Meanwhile, coming up in this half hour, did your favorite make the list? The Darth Vader kid, Kevin Bacon's take on Kevin Bacon. Just ahead, the commercials that were crowned the best of the year.
But we are going to begin on a serious note with what could be a major setback for prosecutors at the Casey Anthony murder trial. Two experts gave conflicting testimony on a key piece of evidence. NBC's Carrie Sanders is in Orlando with the latest. Good morning to you, Carrie.
Well, good morning, Meredith. Prosecutors say they will ask for the death penalty if Casey Anthony is convicted of murdering her daughter because they allege it was premeditated. And much of their case relies on showing that Casey used the chemical chloroform on her daughter. But now that part of the case may be in jeopardy.
Prosecutors had one of the world's foremost experts on corpses and the odors they emit, bolstering their case.
The point source of the odor was the trunk.
Dr. Arpad Vass explained how he examined the trunk of Casey's car and detected the chemical chloroform.
Because the chloroform was shockingly high, unusually high.
But on Tuesday, an FBI chemist called by the prosecution turned that evidence inside out when he said the chloroform levels he found were not noteworthy at all.
And it's not what you would call shockingly high levels of chloroform, would it?
No, it's not.
That contradiction is a critical conflict for prosecutors who are trying to build a case that Casey Anthony would use the chemical chloroform to knock out her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee, while she partied. Investigators say they have examined the computer taken from Casey's home, and it shows searches for how to make chloroform. If the levels were excessively high in the trunk of the car, then prosecutors can suggest Casey was using the chemical on her daughter, a premeditated murder. But if the levels were not high, then the defense can argue that the chloroform was from a far more innocent source.
These levels, residue levels of chloroform that were found and tested are equal to what you might find in a common cleaning product, is it not, sir?
Yes, from my experience, those levels have been detected in substances that have been used for cleaning products, yes.
The prosecution relied heavily on their expert to say that the levels of chloroform were astronomically high, but the FBI chemist said that they're low. It's going to be very hard to get a jury to ignore the testimony of the FBI.
Also key to the prosecution's case, their claim that Casey put Kaylee's lifeless body in the backyard.
You went there with Garris?
Garris was Deputy Jason Forgey's trained dog. The jury watched an infrared video of Garris, a canine with a proven record finding dead bodies. But in this Garris hit on a scent in the backyard only once.
I got an alert the first day and did not get one the second day.
For prosecutors, testimony that may have backfired. For the defense, not a huge victory, but a small step to suggesting doubt. And all they need to do to win this case is reasonable doubt. Meredith?
Thank you, Kara. I'm going to miss you, too. Thanks so much, Carrie Sanders, reporting for us this morning. Wendy Murphy is a former federal prosecutor and child advocate. Savannah Guthrie is today's legal correspondent. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Savannah, if I can start with you. The prosecution has been trying to build a case against Casey Anthony based on circumstantial evidence. Based on what you saw in the courtroom Tuesday, was the defense successful in punching some holes in that case?
Yeah, the defense got a real opportunity because of an error by the prosecution on a key piece of evidence, this air can that supposedly has air samples from the trunk of that car, and prosecutors allege it will smell like death. That crucial piece of evidence was misidentified in court, which actually required the prosecutors to call back their key expert witness the second day and clear up the mix-up. I mean, in some sense, it amounts to a clerical error, but in the context of a trial, it was an opportunity for the defense because they were able to say, you know, you don't really have any expertise handling forensics, do you? So it's just another little piece of that reasonable doubt that Carrie Sanders mentioned. It's an opportunity that the defense will make the most of, not just yesterday, but also, I expect, in closing arguments.
Yeah, and Wendy, you've said that based on what you've seen so far, you believe that Casey Anthony will be acquitted.
I know, I don't often say that, do I? I was hopeful that there was evidence in this case that we hadn't heard about over the past several years, that some of the evidence has come out, but I figured there was stuff that we hadn't heard yet. And then I was so distraught during the prosecution's opening statement because I listened very carefully and I didn't hear any evidence at all that they have that Casey Anthony actually killed her child. There's plenty that she lied, plenty she was a bad mother, plenty she probably participated in burying the body, maybe even covering up the crime. But I didn't hear one thing that actually puts Casey Anthony at the murder scene or anywhere near her daughter at the time she died. In fact, to the contrary, there's some evidence that she didn't even have her car or her child during the 3-day period that prosecutors say she most likely died. So who had the car? Who had the child? That's still a mystery in this case.
Well, Savannah, it seems that the prosecution has successfully painted Casey Anthony as a liar, for sure. That combined with this scientific evidence that's been questioned by the defense, is that enough to sway a jury?
Well, especially, I would say, in a death penalty case, this is a tough case for the prosecutors. I think the jurors probably right now are thinking Casey Anthony was up to something bad. She certainly wasn't the greatest parent. She wouldn't know the truth if it hit her in the face. But will they be able to take that next leap? What they don't, I don't think, have right now in the state of the evidence is a clear picture of how this child died. They know that she lies, Casey Anthony. If she took the stand or anything she said, I don't think they would believe for 1 minute at this point. However, do they have enough to really have a clear picture of how this crime unfolded? And without that, will they be willing to convict her of this first-degree murder under penalty of death?
What is the most compelling piece of evidence they have at this point, the prosecution?
That's a very good question. In terms of proving how the child died, they have a piece of duct tape that they claim indicates it was placed on her mouth prior to death. They don't have any indication who did it. I agree with Savannah. As much as it pains me to say this, if the prosecution's opening is all the evidence they have, I would vote to acquit her because I think there's doubt all over the place.
What about the defense's opening where they said, well, actually, she wasn't kidnapped. She drowned, Kaylee Anthony, she drowned in the pool, and her grandfather, Casey Anthony's dad, that he helped cover it up, and in fact, he molested Casey Anthony as a kid. You say that the defense is setting up something called the cross fingers defense?
Well, the cross finger pointing problem, along with the dog and pony show tactic. No, I think they're trying to build some sympathy for Casey. If she was abused as a child, maybe somebody will feel bad for her. There's also this sort of two-villain story growing now where if George is potentially the guy who was involved and Casey is potentially the woman who was involved, and they each agree to be each other's reasonable doubt, I'll blame her, she blames me. In a sense, it's a wash because the jury looks at both of them and says, I can't figure out exactly who did what. I have doubt he's blaming her, she's blaming him. We can't.
I call it the
tell.
spaghetti defense, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. The problem with the defense is now they've provided a very detailed narrative. Rather than just poking a hole in the prosecutor's case, they've kind of told a story, and now the onus is on them to prove it in court. They don't have the legal burden, but they may have the practical burden because they've promised so much in the defense opening statements.
Okay, Don Nash is a mayor telling me to go, so I'm not going to Don. I just want very quickly, yes or no, she will take the stand, Casey Anthony?
I don't know how the defense puts her on. On the other hand, if they want to prove all those allegations they made in opening statements, they're going to have to.
Yes or no?
Never, ever. Day will never come. She will be destroyed. She will convict herself if she takes a stand, and that's why she'll never take the stand.
Wendy Murphy, thank you. Savannah Guthrie,
You bet.
thank you as well.
Thanks,
And good
Meredith.
luck.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. Now a check of the weather from Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Straight Talk. You can cut your cell phone bill in half and feel richer.
And good morning, everyone. We got some friends from Laredo, Texas. Yeah. Shout out to all the police officers there. Yeah. Well, let's check your weather, see what's happening, and we'll show you. We've got our first tropical storm in the Pacific. This is Adrian, 345 miles south of Acapulco, Mexico. 60-mile-per-hour winds moving northwest at 5. Right now does not appear to be danger to any land masses. But the land mass that is the United States will be seeing a lot of heat. We've also got some strong storms firing up back through the plains. We've got the risk of severe weather from the central plains all the way into the central Great Lakes, also interior New England. Clouds and sunshine in the Pacific Northwest with temperatures in the 60s. Record highs, mid-Atlantic states back into the Ohio River Valley, moving into the Northeast and on into Texas. And we got two sisters here. What's your name?
Lauren.
And Molly, where are you guys from?
Where are you from? Georgia.
Georgia. All right. There. What? Any city?
Simon's Island.
All right. Very nice. Good to see you, ladies. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Sharing the same neck of the woods, hot weather out there today, so some tips: wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, drink plenty of fluids, obviously, stay in the shade, air-conditioned areas, and check on the elderly. Make sure they are cool and safe, as well as your pets. Forecast high today of 95 degrees could tie the record in Central Park, only 77 the low tonight, with lots of hazy sunshine. 97 tomorrow, that could tie a record too. Could be a couple of thunderstorms late in the day tomorrow night, then not as hot on Friday, 88. We cool it down close to 80 over the weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday, just a couple of hit-and-miss showers.
Your weather any time of the day or night. Weather Channel on cable, weather.com online. This young lady's birthday is on Meredith's last day. What's your name, sweetheart?
Lexi.
Lexi, all right. And she's very shy about the fact that it's your last day, Meredith.
She's very cute. Happy 7th. I think she's 7th.
Yeah. All right, Al, thank you very much. When we come back, the best of the best when it comes to TV commercials, plus our special farewell to Meredith on her final morning here on Today.
What is good for Meredith, which is our priority here, does it have to be good for the rest of us? Because that's why we're feeling sad today. We will miss you. I know you'll be back. Just won't be what we had.
She's cute.
Her too.
Thanks. Who does her nails?
Arvine.
Oh, how good is she?
The woman's a genius.
Right? Just the other... I gotta take this. Yo.
I now feel the need to carry a toy dog with me everywhere because I'm feeling richer effect. It happens when you cut your cell phone bill in half. Switch to Straight Talk Unlimited Everything for just $45 a month, so you'll feel richer too. Only at Walmart.
This Friday, Judy Moody is a thrill-a-delic movie for the entire family.
It's out!
It's hilarious. Ooh, no matter how you get there.
Go, go, go!
Take your whole family to Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer, rated PG.
Only Subway has a deal this flat-out delicious. The new $3 flatbread breakfast combo. A toasty 6-inch flatbread breakfast sandwich and a 16-ounce cup of freshly brewed Seattle's best coffee. All for just $3. Build your better breakfast today.
Cash back with my credit card? Love the idea.
No hoops to jump through to get it? Even better.
Not a big fan of hoops.
That's why I have the Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card.
We get 1% cash back on every purchase.
There's no limit to the amount of cash back I can earn.
And the rewards.
Yes. Won't expire. Bank America Cash Rewards.
1% cash back.
No hoops to jump through.
Nice and simple.
Just the way I like it.
The refreshingly simple Bank America Cash Rewards credit card. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
When Mike Rowe heads home, his family knows what to expect. But what Mike Rowe doesn't know is that his parents have armed themselves with unquilted Viva towels.
Wow.
For me? If Viva can handle Mike Rowe's mess, just think what it can do in your home. Grab a roll for yourself and grasp the unquilted difference.
We invited real women to try new Dove Visible Care Creme Body Wash with Nutrient Moisture. After 1 week, we took their close-ups. When they saw how much more beautiful their skin looked, they had only one question. New Dove Visible Care Creme Body Wash.
Drivers have told us they like a crossover that can go the distance. That's why we gave the Chevy Equinox an EPA-estimated 32 miles per gallon highway. But do passengers appreciate all of the comfort features we put in the Equinox?
Want me to drive?
We'll take that as a yes.
The Count on Chevy event is going on strong with a full selection of Chevys to choose from. Come claim yours today. Visit your local Chevy dealer.
At Triscuit, we're a fan of simple ingredients, so we seeded that into something much bigger, the home farming movement. Join us at homefarming.com.
Back now at 7:44 with the top commercials of the past year. Some rely on humor and celebrity, others a little bit of shock value. And last night, the Association of Independent Commercial Producers honored the best of the best. Matt Miller is the association's CEO and president. Matt, always nice to have you here. Welcome back.
It's great.
Let me talk about economy first of all. These commercials aired last year, 2010. That means the economy was still in a very difficult state. Some people would say it still is. How did it affect what we saw on television?
Well, it actually, compared to 2009, the economy was really back. And I think that one thing that we did see in all the spots across the board was that advertisers are more confident in understanding what media was about. And they brought it. I mean, some of the ads that are in this show are far and above some of the past years we've seen, and you'll see that in production, in style, and in concept.
Let's take a look at a follow-up ad that was named one of the best. This was honored in the humor and performance categories. It's kind of a sequel to the original Spice, the Man Your Man Can Smell Like commercial. Take a look.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Fantastic. Does your man look like me? No. Can he smell like me? Yes. Should he use Old Spice body wash? I don't know. Do you like the smell of adventure? Do you want a man who smells like he can bake you a gourmet cake in the dream kitchen he built for you with his own hands? Of course you do. Swan dive into the best night of your life. So, ladies, should your man smell like an Old Spice man? You tell me.
It's just beautifully staged. It's wonderful. Question, though, how far can they go with this?
Well, you know, it's got legs. Actually, between the two spots, they went out and a lot of people were tweeting about it. And obviously, social media is a big part of the success of these pieces. They made 183 individual commercials with him answering tweets live, which got hundreds of millions, not... hundreds of millions of hits of free impressions.
That's an advertiser's dream.
This is it. That's what it's all about.
The next one almost needs no introduction because most of us remember it from the Super Bowl. It's for Volkswagen. Take a look. 39 million hits online. I like it because it connects to everyone. My kids love the commercial. I love it because my kids have done that kind of thing. It works for me.
It does. And, you know, the online aspect, as you said, it was amazing. We previewed that on Today's Show the Friday before the Super Bowl. Had about 900,000 hits as they released it the night before. Within 4 hours after watching this show, 6 million hits. 10 million before the game, and as you say, went all the way up to 40 million.
This next one is for YMCA. It was honored in the low-budget category, and take a look at what the woman is actually eating.
You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
Maybe things did get a little out of hand over the holidays.
You see, now this one is a little gross to me. We even had some of our camera guys going, ugh, and it takes a lot to gross them out. Why does this work?
Hey, you know what? It takes a lot to gross our industry out. Last night, when this aired or screened, the groans in the audience were, oh.
But it's supposed to get you off your butt to get you healthier.
And it does, and it shows what you can do in low budget. This is in the low budget category, and it shows a very simple idea that can actually be effective yet gross.
All right, the next one is from Allstate. It's an effective campaign. It earns them the Advertising Excellence Honor. Keep in mind with this one, they're making insurance seem funny.
I'm a typical teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all OMG. Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
I like mayhem. He works for me.
Well, you know, this one's great because, look, who's on the category in commercials? Geico.
Right.
And they've done it with humor. They've done it in a lot of ways. And here's an old, staid company saying, we got to bring it. And that's what marketers are doing right now. They're saying, we got to entertain, we got to get out there, and we got to actually compete in all ways. Across social media, across here, we got to make people really want to see our ads.
They're fun to watch. Matt Miller, always nice of you to bring them to us. We appreciate it.
Great to be here, Matt.
All right, thanks. Still ahead, a farewell fit for our queen on Meredith's Last Morning right here on Today. We're back after this.
What is it?
It's you.
It's me? All right, Emma. I know it's not your favorite, but it's time for your medicine, okay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Emma, Emma, Bob, Emma, banana, fana, for Emma, fee, fi, for Emma, Emma. Very good, sweetie. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah, you did a really good job, okay? Let's go back to drawing.
Brightest day, blackest night. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light!
Green Lantern, rated PG-13, starts June 17th.
Butteriest, twirliest, beefiest. Yeah, Dixie Ultra is the sturdiest. Sauciest, cooeyest, trippiest. Hey, Dixie Ultra handles your nastiest.
With 10 times the strength of plain paper plates and an exclusive soap-proof shield, Dixie Ultra can handle it all.
Juiciest, chunkiest, steamiest. Dixie Ultra handles even your heaviest, your messiest.
You do so much to stay healthy. But did you know Fiber Choice can help support your overall well-being? Every tasty tablet has prebiotic fiber from fruits and veggies that lets your good bacteria thrive and help support your immune system. Fiber Choice, an easy way to defend your health every day. Learn more about prebiotics and get a free sample at fiberchoice.com.
How can Expedia save me even more in my hotel? By giving me huge discounts on rooms hotels can't always fill with unpublished rates, which means I get an even more rockin' hotel for less. Where you book matters. Expedia.
Hello, Meredith. I just want to say goodbye. I'm still stuck here in NBC, but you're moving on. And one thing I'm so happy about is that you're leaving NBC after a great career and has nothing to do with those Twitter photos that you tweeted. I mean, I think it's great that women are doing them too, but for what it's worth, look, I thought you looked fabulous.
How did he get his hands on that, so to speak? Oh, my
we
goodness.
have some surprises coming up. Any idea what they are?
Whoa, flashing. First your local news and weather.
The rich aroma gets you up. The
Looking forward to your first cup. Oh, that mountain-grown taste, just what you need for the big race.
You excited?
As you finish every mile, how rewarding are those smiles. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Where'd Gil run off to?
Walking around Paris.
I had a private detective follow him.
What happened?
The detective is missing.
I'm in a perplexing situation.
Why are you dressed up?
I was just doing a little writing.
You put on cologne to write?
Midnight in Paris, rated PG-13.
You have all this chicken. Time to mix it up with new Philly cooking cream. It'll make your chicken creamier, dreamier, with lots of flavor. Spread the love in 4 fabulous flavors. Spoon in a little new Philly cooking cream.
There's a place where everyone feels at home, where the company, the conversation, and the food make all who enter feel welcome. A place that feels as warm with a crowd as it does with just a friend. It's a place you'll find Townhouse crackers, because they're part of what makes your place the place. Welcome to Townhouse, where good times reside.
And just like that, it's here. A new chance for all of us. People, companies, communities, to face the challenges yesterday left behind and the ones tomorrow will bring. Prudential. Bring your challenges.
What does it take to be the coolest family film of the summer? Kung Fu!
Awesomeness.
Action music. Fortune telling.
Daddy issues.
Noodles. Bunnies.
That makes no sense.
What do you think? It sure does. DreamWorks Kung Fu Panda 2. Now playing in 3D. I'm freaking in. Rated PG.
Up All Night. Coming Wednesdays this fall to NBC.
Among the best written new works on Broadway in years, says the New York Times. Chris Rock makes the audience roar. 90 exhilarating, astonishing minutes. The best comic performances on Broadway. This Mother is not to be missed. Nominated for 6 Tony Awards, including Best Play. Chris Rock in The Mother with the Hat through July 17th only.
Please exit through the rear door.
Don't assume it was left by accident. If you see something, say something.
Live from Studio 7E in Rockefeller Center, this is Today in New York.
Good morning, everyone. 7:56, 74 degrees. Looking at a hot day on this Wednesday. It's June 8th. I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Congressman Anthony Weiner is getting a show of support from New Yorkers. 51% of those surveyed in a New York One Marist College poll said Weiner should stay in office. But when asked about Weiner possibly running for mayor, voters were less forgiving. 56% said Weiner should not run. Let's check in on the morning commute. Here's Megan Meany.
All right. The road looks good out by Newark Airport on the New Jersey Turnpike. But if you are traveling through New Jersey, on Route 3, there's a hot spot, the Western Spur. If you're heading eastbound, look for an accident there blocking a couple lanes, a little sluggish through the area. And alternate side parking today is suspended, but you do have to feed the meters. Darlene?
All right, Megan, thank you. Let's check the weather. We could reach record temperatures. 95 is the high today. Tonight, still warm at 77. Tomorrow, another hazy, hot, and humid day with a high of 97. Friday should be muggy, not as hot though, 88 degrees. And Saturday we might see a spotty thunderstorm at 81. Sunday more showers are possible, 79 degrees. Coming up on the Today Show, we'll look back at some of the special moments from Meredith's 5 years on Today. Stay tuned.
If you're shopping for blinds, come to Blinds to Go. We definitely guarantee the lowest price. The reason that our prices are so low is because we have our own factory. Right now, take 10 to 40% off selected styles. For more information, check out our website at blindstogo.com.
When the history of this season is written, it'll be written in the mud, sweat, and tears of the combatants and on the carpet of your vehicle. Unless you have WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech liners are laser measured to custom fit and protect your specific make and model. Dirt and spills stay in the liner until you wash them away. Order your WeatherTech floor liners at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. Don't wait. Order your WeatherTech protection today. Complete protection, completely American made at WeatherTech.com.
8 hours after you quit smoking, your blood oxygen level returns to normal. In 3 months, your lung function improves up to 30%. And 10 years after you quit, your risk of dying from lung cancer is about half that of a smoker. But right now, you're one cigarette closer to cancer. Every cigarette makes you sick. Quit smoking today. For help, call 311 or 1-866-NY-QUITS.
Spider-Man on Broadway, reimagined. The new Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, the event that will redefine the Broadway spectacular. In previews now. Visit Ticketmaster.com.